Hi everyone, so I'm V, and in this video I will be talking to you guys about how depression has been affecting me and my life and those that surround me, and that's including my husband and my kids. How depression affects people in very different ways. Um, so my journey is going to be very different than yours. So just have that in mind. I wrote some notes because I didn't want to miss anything. And even though these are like real feelings, I had to sit down, and this actually helped me when I sat down and wrote them down. I realized how bad it was affecting me. And this is me now recording this video because of this. So that being said, I'm more irritable. That's the number one thing that I've noticed. Um, in when I first started feeling like there was something wrong with me, it's because I am a yeller. I yell at my kids a lot. um but there's always a point where like I can calm myself down and I come to sense and I try to fix it. And like, it's something that I've known that I've struggled with for like a very long time. But since for a few months now, I started realizing that it was getting like overboard, and it was getting to the point where my kids were starting to yell back at me. And or it is getting to the point, I shouldn't say it was, because it's still happening. And now when they communicate with one another, I have 4 kids, just so you know. And even the little one, she's just turned 1 year old, and she is starting to yell to communicate when she wants something. So if the kids are fighting or playing with some toy, or she's playing with some toy, and they try, instead of asking for it, they started to take it away and yell at the same time. Now, before you even think or say, or you probably already thought it, it's their kids. Kids do that. Well, yes, kids do that. Like, I think you can hear them right now. But they get to the point where they hit each other, and not very like calmly. Go give it back to Sophia, please. Thank you. So if you can hear them right now, actually, that's them fighting, and that's very minor. But they yell at each other constantly. And instead of saying words, which one of my daughters can't really say words because she's delayed in speech, but she will be like, ah! And then also my son does that, and my 2 year old, and my 10 year old now, and my 1 year old. Just to recap, I'm more irritable, I yell more, and 3, I can't keep up with my home. So what I mean with that, very simple. As you can see, my house is a mess, and that is like nothing compared to some days, and I have pictures to show you because I take pictures of messes or things that I feel like it's out of control, because it helps me remind myself that there's some good days and there's some bad days. I know, weird, but I do that. And so, like I said, I can't keep up with my house, and that's just like the kitchen. I can go around my house and show you all around, but instead I'll just show you pictures like this. And so that being said, um it gets me even more anxious and more stressed, because constant mess, like literally waking up and seeing constant mess every single day, is so freaking stressful for me. I don't want to say that I've been like a super clean person before depression like actually brought me down, but um, I was able to keep up with my house a little more. Now, there's a lot of people that I know, and they're super supportive and super helpful in this community that we moved into. And they always tell me, "Oh, don't worry, you have little kids. That's the life of a stay-at-home mom when you have young kids." And I know what they mean, and I can see how they can be right with certain things, but it doesn't have to be this bad. Now, as I showed you in my pictures. And I honestly feel like I can do a lot better, but because of depression, there's a lot of days that I just don't want to move. I want to just lay there. And one way that I deal with depression is by just either one, sleeping more, which doesn't happen very often because I have kids, and two, I want to like binge watch. Is that how you say it? Watching TV. Um, I just like, put on a series and I can literally watch a whole season in like 2 days or maybe 3 days, depending on how many seasons, of course. So that's another way that, I can tell. So that's going to number four, that I can tell that I just want to sit and watch TV a lot. And before I did not used to notice it, but now that I'm starting to try to understand my habits, my bad habits that get me into my depression, that actually bring me down, that I think that I'm, oh, just relaxing. But now I'm starting to notice that those are the bad habits that actually make me feel even worse. Not during, but like after the, um, I don't know what it's done. I don't know how to call it. So, another way another sign that I notice is going to number six is I do not want to work out. Now, I've never been like a super fit person, but I do enjoy working out, and I really, really enjoy it actually. But when my depression symptoms escalate, um, I cannot work out. I cannot make myself work out. I can change into my workout clothes because I basically live in my workout clothes, but I can, like, I literally try to force myself to do it. And I like start, I'll start with like, I don't know, 5 minutes, and then 5 minutes into it or 10 minutes into it, I'm just like, I'm done. And I honestly haven't figured out a way to like make myself get out of that zone. One way that I want to say that has been helping me, I guess, it's going to the gym, because going to the gym, I can't just sit down because I'll get embarrassed if people are just watching me sitting down at the gym. But I can't go to the gym every day because I'm a stay-at-home mom. My husband work schedule is like sometimes all over the place, and so I can't have a set schedule to work out at the gym. But I have been trying to go at least 3 times a week, and so far I've been successful with that. So number six is I don't want to cook. So going back to being a stay-at-home mom, I try to cook a lot. And where we moved to, it's a super small town that we don't really have many options to buy food from, anyways. But also, food has been in my healing journey as well, trying to figure out what foods make me feel good and what doesn't. And I realized that I actually have a food addiction. I'm addicted to food, and I know it sounds funny to say that, but it's is the truth. And I've only come to that realization just like 2 days ago, actually. And um, I don't enjoy cooking anymore. And because I don't enjoy cooking anymore, I cook less, or I don't know if cooking is the right word. Yeah, I don't make home cooked meals as often. I'm more sandwiches, or like I buy pizza, frozen pizza, or I make hamburgers, which all that is good. I'm not saying it's horrible, but I know there's healthier options there that I used to enjoy cooking, and I haven't been doing that for quite a while. Especially when my depression symptoms escalate, or like, they're getting worse. Number seven is me not wanting to go out. I don't even want to go outside of my house, to be honest. I don't know if it has to do with the weather, because it's freezing right here. It's like 30 something degrees. But also it affects my animals because they get fed at different times during the day instead of being fed early in the morning. And I know that you're probably thinking like, oh, poor animals. You know, I I don't know if you're thinking that, but I tell that to myself. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like when I realized that I haven't fed the animals, I didn't do it on purpose. It's more of like I forgot. And because my 10-year-old is not with me right now, which is usually his chores, I forget that I'm the one responsible for them now, and I feel horrible. And then that's just one more thing that I beat myself over, yeah, over with, something like that. And And then it also affects my kids because I don't take them to the park, and then they get bored of being in the house all day. And if somebody invites us over to their house or whatever, I am like, nope, I'm not dealing. I don't want to deal with my kids outside of the house because I can't keep a straight face, or I can't fake smile. I'm not a really good fake smiler. You can always tell when I'm fake smiling because my smile goes sideways or this way. And number 7, I want to be eating all the time. Now, that's going back to the food addiction, and me not wanting to go like cook, So I tend to snack a lot on carbohydrates and like anything sweets when I'm feeling depressed. And I do not want to eat the healthy food even if I meal prep. Whether I meal prep or not, I still like will make excuses for myself as to why it's okay for me eating those unhealthy foods. And so that always gets me back into the cycle of like after eating, I feel horrible. Then I start having my severe depressed symptoms, and then I'm like, okay, I'm good. I go through like a few days and I'm like, I can get myself back up. And I'm like, I go back to the eating healthy and working out. And then just one decision of me giving up to like, I don't know, a simple chocolate, and boom, go back down all over again. And so that made me realize like before, I used to be able to eat semi healthy throughout, like it was more like a balanced eating for me before. And for the past few months it's just been horrible. And either like I do have some good weeks, but I also have very horrible weeks, so it doesn't really balance itself out anymore. And so that being the case, I haven't been able to lose any weight. Well, I shouldn't say any. I lost, since I had my baby, it's been a year and 1 month now. I've lost 20 pounds, and I've gone from 200 pounds to like 180. And I've been like bouncing back and forth between 180 to 185. And that's usually where I stay at. Sometimes I'll go up all the way to 189, and then I go into my really good eating habits, and then, or I shouldn't say habit, my really good diet and working out, and then I can bounce down all the way to 180 without a problem, but then I can never go under 180. And so that was a really big sign for me that I'm like, okay, there's more than just me. There's something else going on, like wrong with me, So um okay, so now number 8, that goes to I don't want to work. And what I mean by that, I know I'm a stay-at-home mom, but being a stay-at-home mom is working 24/7, literally. And but I also help with my husband's bookkeeping for the business, and for our jiu-jitsu business. And I've effed up a lot of the books. Even though I'm learning, I know I can be doing a lot better. And for some reason, I cannot get out of this funk where like I get really good days of like 1 week of working really, really well. And then the following week of like not even touching the books or not even opening an account, or, you know, organizing our transactions or anything like that. And it's gotten us into a really big problem because of me not being able to force myself to do the important task that goes to number 9 or 10, doing important tasks that I need to do. And that being said, my one of my daughters, it's a cancer survivor, but she still gets treatments for her opsoclonus, myoclonus down ataxia syndrome. And I forget a lot of the times her injections. So she's supposed to receive injections every other day, steroid injections, and I forget. Not quite as often because I have an alarm for it, but sometimes even just snoozing the alarm, I'll keep postponing it because I do not want to get distracted of something that I'm doing because I know I will forget. And then I end up forgetting her injection. And that also, like setting up appointments, like even though I have a schedule, like an alarm schedule for her, because that's super important, I still somehow forget. I can't really give you a good reason for that, but I do. And and my daughter pays for it because whenever she doesn't get her treatments well or something, it's like it's obviously on me. And that's another reason why I feel like I'm a horrible mom, so that goes number 11 or 12, I don't even know, I lost track. And um me feeling like a horrible mom or not being the best mom that I can when I know I've done better before. I've always thought there's always room for improvement. And I've always thought that I've had like a growth mindset, but I haven't been on that growth mindset for quite a while. I started to look more into it after starting therapy, but even with therapy, it's been really hard. Like I have my ups and downs, but I'm not gonna lie and say that I'm in a better place now than I was before, if that even makes sense. I am doing a lot better than I was before because I'm able to record this and talk to you guys about it, but I'm still not where I want to be. And I can still tell that my depression still has a hold of me and is still kind of controlling me. And that goes back to another sign, which is number 12 or 13 or 10 or 11. I have no idea. Um, Drinking. So drinking is a big problem for me. Now, I don't consider myself an everyday alcoholic. I know that sounds silly, but I drink, or I was drinking almost every weekend. And I wasn't drinking to get drunk, but I was drinking enough to give me like a head change. Came Friday and I was like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now I didn't drink like all day, but I did drink like 2 or 3 drinks a day. And I know that doesn't seem a lot. But for me, I started to notice that every time I drank, the following, even though during the moment I felt like more like happy, not happy, but like, more alert, supposedly, and more patient with my kids, I still noticed that the following day, depression symptoms would like severely increase, like severely, like suicidal thoughts and everything. And so I noticed that was one of the reasons. And I couldn't just drink one drink. So if I have one drink, I go on to the second, third, fourth, and probably up to 6 drinks a day. So um all of those signs that I mentioned before, which are here or here, um, I realized that not like all of those things are like obviously really, really bad for me in my situation. But I've also realized that it increased my feelings of, um, being a horrible mom, feeling hopeless, not having a purpose, feeling useless, feeling like a failure, um, feeling fat, feeling like a little girl all the time because I'm constantly asking. Oh, I forgot one other thing I to mention, but I mentioned after. I love to spend a lot when I'm feeling depressed, so I'm also addicted to shopping. Now, I don't shop like crazy, like expensive things. I literally like I'll go into Facebook Market and try to find a lot of free stuff, and then um or like really cheap, like good deals, and then that's the way of me I shop. Before, when I used to work, I I was able to do a lot of things without asking anybody. I was a single mom for 6 years, and I lived with my mom, so I didn't have the responsibility for a very long time of of paying rent, and I had that privilege, to do so. And so that meant that even though I just had like a car payment and my cell phone and like bills, and then once in a while would give my mom money, or like help my money, help my mom with money, it wasn't very often, to be honest. And because she never asked for it, and I was very selfish, to be honest. And so And, so I was able to spend on whatever. And for me and my son at the time, I just had one child. Um, I was able to spend on whatever I wanted, take him wherever I wanted, amusement parks. I love amusement parks. So, me feeling like a child now, I think it goes back to me wanting to spend the way I used to. And now, as a stay at home mom, we have to be on a budget, and I don't have the freedom to spend when I want to because, it's just my husband that's earning all the money for people, for a family of six. And nowadays, everything's super expensive. So, one way that I deal with my depression, which is not a very good way, is by shopping. And like I said, even though it's marked like Facebook stuff or Amazon, I buy a lot of Amazon. Amazon is my number one to go to. And, you know, uh, that's another sign that I realized that I started, um, that it's not a good habit, to have. And so, going back to my feelings, I was feeling like a kid because I have to ask for my husband for everything. And I hate it. Like, I can't, I don't know how else to explain it, but I freaking hate. I feel like a little girl asking for like my parents for money, and and then sometimes he has to say no to me, even though I'm the one that does the budgets. I still, and I know that we cannot afford it. I still feel like I need to ask him, and he doesn't care, to be honest. Like, he doesn't care on what I spend. Um, but obviously, if I'm spending money that is supposed to go to the house or to a car payment or something, then obviously he's gonna care. And I've effed up some of our, you know, financial things or financial states. I don't know what word to use, because of my spending problems. And even when I get free things, I'll show you a picture of my garage right here. And you're gonna realize that has to do with me getting free stuff and saying one day I'll put it inside the house or fix it or something, and I don't do it. And then I love doing do it yourself projects, and I haven't been able to do any of that for a while because I'm not in the mood. But I can show you pictures of right here of all the things, projects that I've started and I haven't been able to finish because of my depression, because I don't have the motivation. I don't enjoy it anymore. And, that's become a problem. And so I feel like, like I don't deserve anything good. I feel like fatigued all the time and sad. And I am so tired of feeling like that. So, this is the reason why this video happened. And because I want to commit to myself, but I feel like I haven't been able to commit to myself because it's just for me. And for some reason, I feel like it goes back to me not feeling like I'm enough and I don't deserve whatever it is that I don't deserve. And so I started to try to focus more on how can I help other moms, because when I started sharing my journey in Instagram and Facebook about me having depression, a few moms started like reaching out to me, and we've started talking. And I've learned that there are a lot of moms out there that struggle with depression, and it's not a topic that it's really well, I don't know what word to use, taken care of. People don't feel comfortable talking about it. And so my YouTube channel, it's going to be about me and my journey, but mostly because I want to try things and try to figure out and do my own research about how, depression, how to heal or cure or live with depression or manage or something. And so if you feel like, after I mention all of these, if you feel like, I feel kind of weird doing that, to be honest. If you feel like, any of these signs, you feel like, hey, like I have those signs or symptoms or however you call them as well, I recommend you that you should talk to someone outside of your group, somebody professional. So, I hope to see you guys soon. And I say I hope because I really hope that this is going to force me to make more videos and be on top of my healing journey and not so much letting it go like I have been, like, my roller coasters. And yeah, so see you soon. Bye, guys.